Hey, we are back online, and I'm just getting ready to set up the crouching animation for Selden. Where is he? Projects, wherever scenes is. There it is. Is it the Guardians or is it Wielders of Ether? Yes, it's both of those things. Manual animations, and I just exported the left crouch and the crouch uncrouch. Import all. Looks like he's facing the wrong way. That's not good. Maybe these are supposed to be the right and not the left. Yeah. This one is marked as left. But yeah, it looks like that might be the right. Why is it doing this? It was opening these in the correct folder just fine until just now. Alright. Let's open up right. Okay. So if he's facing to the right, that should be forward down Z from this perspective, and that's correct. To be facing down left, he should be 180 down Z. Yeah, so 180 down Z. So my guess is, if that's the case, then quite possibly on this particular bake, yeah, he's facing 180 down Z. Did this get keyframed? It looks like it did not get keyed, so that's probably why it's not there. So what I'm going to do is just bake the skeleton real quick. Bake skeleton. So when you export from Maya to Unreal, or whenever you export the animation, the option to auto bake is there. So if we go to export, let's grab that. This is scaled a bit weird, but it's whatever. The option to bake is already checked, but for, I guess, some reason it didn't bake the 180 degree turn. It is 180 on the rotation. Yeah. Although, I think I run into this problem before with his particular rig, is I did not set the origin to world. I think I had that problem previously. Let's normally he's facing this way. Import transforms like default. That way. Interesting. It is bizarre. What was my compensation for that? I vaguely recall having running into this about a month ago, which is about how long it's been since I've worked on the project, and fixing it on the base skeleton. Because I didn't notice that on... Let me go back. Hold on a second. Maybe I did myself dirty. Hold on. Let's go to walk. We'll do this one. Oh, I didn't just break that. Okay, let's go to first frame. Yeah, facing down Z. And then we have that turn. So that looks like it's behaving correctly. Is this mapped at 0? Yeah, rotation on that is 0. That doesn't change. Going to the right. It should be facing Z. It is. So on this one, I do flip this 180. on the export. But this isn't translating. The controller itself has a 180-degree flip, but it is not being applied to the root joint. Like I said, I keep running into problems with this rig because I did things on this, and whenever I get a little bit of momentum, I'm like, I'm going to go do this thing, and then I start streaming and I go, oh, it's broken. Well, of course it's broken. Why wouldn't it not be broken? This project has been the bane of my existence. I'm going to left. Yeah, we'll go to left. Alt. So this one at frame 1 is 180. Huh. Well, let me run it and see what happens, because even though it bugs me, my brain says everything about it says it's the wrong direction. Maybe I'm wrong. So let's go into the code. We'll save whatever's here and just see what it does. I've been wrong before. I'm constantly wrong on this project, so things that we'll need to do, I'll need to go to the CPP file for Selden. I believe crouch is allowed on the current H file. Yes. So I need to crouch and uncrouch. So this will be I don't think standing matters. Yeah, my ear just rang. Crouch, and then yeah, I had that a second ago, and then uncrouching. I don't think standing is needed. Okay. CPP file. Let's add in a state here. Does crouching need a transition state? It may, but I might have to build a crouching from walking to a crouch or running to a crouch. So I'll just leave it as it is with no transition. So I'm going to copy idle. And I'll just drop it in here. Crouching, and I'll add one after for uncrouch. Okay. Welcome to the stream. If you're popping in, I'm not really checking to see if anybody's on. Let me do that. It would be nice if I acknowledge people who join, if people join. Duck Studios. There we go. Oh good, I haven't missed anybody. The upside about... Okay, I disconnected. I was going to say the upside about not having any followers is I can't miss anybody. I was planning on having the tutorials that I do them in a British accent or a different accent each time. Because that's what the issue is. I'm not British, and I'm not beautiful, so nobody follows me. Okay, so we're in crouching. We've checked all the basic stuff. Once we get to the left, this is going to be, I believe it is idle underscore crouch left. Is that what I named it? Idle, crouch left, and then we have an uncrouch for uncrouch. We will then also do a montage for that. Yes. Same deal here and here, but these will have to be the right and the right. These, of course, are going to break, so I will have to do a return on those. This is just to prevent this from actually being entered, because these don't exist yet. So I don't want it to try to grab it and then it break and then crash the game. So instead of it getting here, I'm just returning out of this operation if we get here, and then later I'll remove the return. That looks fine. That looks fine. And this part, yeah, that should be okay. And then for uncrouching, uncrouch, uncrouch. This one does not need the montage part. Make sure I didn't screw that up on there. Okay. The thing about copy pasting is if you copy and paste, you might copy and paste the wrong thing. So it's good to practice writing things. Right uncrouch montage, and again I will return out of the right side just to prevent it. We want to enter the crouching state when we hold the down key. I was thinking about, like, if you tap down, we'll see how it goes. If we tap down, I still want him to try to partial crouch. That way you can duck. But I might just make that, you know, if you tap, it just does a, you know, short duck. But for the guard button, you're going to have kind of like that ability anyway. So when you tap guard, you'll kind of dodge things. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so there's jump, which we don't have set up yet. I'm not using these, although I might keep them for now. Where is down started? There we go. So we'll say if we are currently not in the crouching state, then we will be in the crouching state. And this will be the left. I'm going to pass in direction. So whatever the player's current direction is. Huh, the network broke. No, it's still going. Okay, and then for ongoing, we don't really care yet. Do I have down completed? Okay. So on the completed, this is the released. We'll do if player state is currently in the crouching state. Yeah. So if we currently are crouching, then we want to change state to uncrouch. And whatever direction we're currently facing. Okay. So we'll see in a minute if the crouching direction is broken. It's taking a second to launch. I thought I had solved that problem with the turning around being busted, but I guess I didn't. I may have left myself a note, though. A way that I can fix it is I can manually set the rotation in Unreal, but I don't want to do that. Another way that I could do it is to not care. The method that I'm using to get the character to flip left and right, realistically, I don't necessarily need the root joint, because the pelvis is facing the correct way. But for consistency's sake, whenever he transitions from one animation to the next, if that animation has to blend into the next animation and I'm not consistent with the root bone, then you might have a situation where, like an action figure, but essentially the character, let's say this is the character, he's facing that way and he's walking, boop, boop, boop. But then at some point this animation needs to blend into the next frame to some other animation that's been separate. They have to blend. If the root bones are in different orientations, this one might do a flippity flip and then a flippity flip before it gets blended. So you gotta watch for that sort of thing. It's just kind of hanging for a second there, though, on the compile. I really need to update Visual Studio, but I'm afraid of Visual Studio breaking, so that's why I haven't updated it. Because Unreal Engine source is fickle when it comes to Unreal Engine or Visual Studio. Certainly taking a minute, though. What are you eating up on all my resources? Well, while that's doing that, yeah, so you can see how this is oh, I know what I did. Yeah. So this is not being imparted onto here. This should be 180 here, but this should also, the child of this should be 180. What I ended up doing to fix it, and the other month when I was doing this is I changed the parent order. So right here on the skeletons, the skeletons are parented under the main control. But the main control, if I select this here, you see how the root bone has this blue. That means it's an influence by something else. The main control has influence over that. So if I take this and I shift P it out of there, you'll see that now it inherits the transform. So it should still perform the same, except now those offsets should get imparted onto there from the hierarchy. Where is skeleton? Oh, he's still hanging out over here. Let me put him back in there. Although I'm not sure why that's not showing up there. Let's take this and get the IK root. How about the FK root? Nope, neither of those have influence on them either. And that one's not being controlled. Interesting. So but that should be the answer for that. Yeah. You can see the skeleton on there is reversed. Let me pop out that one. Yeah, now it has the influence on there. So that's what I ended up doing last time, was breaking the hierarchy. Anyway, Unreal is up. I don't want to accidentally save this animation, so I'm going to go back to crouch. Alright, let's see if we can get this to run and or break. Alright, so I am entering the crouch state, but I am not exiting. And then uncrouch needs to transition into idle. So a couple things to fix there. Let's do welcome to the stream, by the way. How are you this evening? Go to blueprints. Let's go to widgets. I was organizing this earlier, but it ended up crashing. What do I need? I need a vertical box, and then a horizontal box, and then inside here I'm going to put this guy. And then inside there, I'm going to put this guy. I take that back. I need another text. This text will go in here. That's the we'll flip those. Put you there. And I'll make this one say, this is going to be state info. And this one is going to be state. That's good. I guess I'll just do padding off the right. We'll do a 10. That should be good. And then I will do another horizontal box. I'll drop that into this vertical box. And then direction can go inside of here. And then I'll put the text in there. This one gets direction. And this is going to be direction info. Another horizontal box. Let's move this one up. This one will get the colon. And then this will be state. This will be time info. So all those will get updated. This one over here. We do not need to append this anymore. This stuff will break you. That goes there. Okay. No appends. Alright, now where did I put this thing? This vertical box. Where is your thingamajig? There you are. We're going to put this here. We can size to content. Same with these. Size to content, size to content. Yes, this one needs a colon, okay. That's just to make it more organized when I'm working here. Yay! Alright. Whoops. We're not playing Steam right now. I hit the button and it made things happen. So start walking. Crouching, uncrouch. Not really sure what this timer is checking though, because it does not. This timer is not updating to the current state time, so that doesn't seem to be the right information. All right, so I can't seem to crouch. It's very likely that I don't have crouching enabled, so I'm going to exit that. Back to here, let's go to Selden. We'll go into here. Can crouch is set to true, so that's not the case. Can fly is also true, so I don't have to worry about that. I don't think the crouching half height's been set. I'll have to check. Because I should see that here, and I don't see it here. Walk speed, and all that stuff. Okay. It could be that it's failing. So let's go to state, so idle, crouching, let me see the movement mode options. I don't think crouching is in the movement mode list. Come on, movement mode. Where is your list? It's loading. It's taking a minute. Because the default movement modes, we have walking. There's walking, swimming. I don't think flying is. I mean, flying might be one of the default movement modes. I'm not sure if crouching is. Falling, okay, flying is 1, swimming none, and walking, and nav walking. Okay, so I don't need to change the movement mode for that. I need to call there is a crouch and uncrouch function that changes the height of the capsule. But I don't need that particular thing to be called at the moment. I just need this animation to fire. So let's see what's happening with this animation. Alright, Steam. Hey, Unreal is installed. Yay! Is Battlefield 5 finished? Battlefield 5 is almost done. That might be eating my resources. Call a booty. I haven't been on Vega in forever. I wonder what's going on in that game these days. Come on, why are you taking a minute? Or 5. Is it really that taxing? Disc 1 is maxed out for some reason. I don't know why you're hanging there. You should have plenty of to work with here. I'm hanging at 16 gigs left, but there should be plenty in the buffer. Come on now. How am I supposed to work if you're gonna hang? That's lame. Is it really going to take this long to load off of a minor change? It says I've got a hard disk that's maxed out, but why? Yeah, plenty of room, plenty of room. Unreal Drive is plenty. I mean, this guy's always having a hard time, but these are hard to come by. You got me. I'm not sure why that's hanging. Could exit Steam and... Although this is going to be done in a few minutes. What do I have left? Half an hour. Come on, figure your life out so I can test this thing. That's annoying. I didn't rebuild this machine so it could be slow. Oh, look, it's running. Well, it took 4 minutes. But what is maxing out my RAM on that? That is crazy. Go. Alright, so at this path, let's continue forward. The path got set, so it does catch it. Alright. Let's go, let's take that breakpoint off and go to so I know these fire, and I know that fires, so that enters the state. So why does the animation not go? Oh, it might just be because I'm facing the wrong direction. Because I'm an idiot. Yeah, I wasn't facing the right direction. So from here, if I go, it turns him the other way. So I am going to have to fix that animation. And then to keep him from crouching forever, I got to unloop it. So where's the animation for this? Where's crouch? Crouch. Well, it's not set to loop, so why is it looping? Let me check in the code here. Do I override it to loop? I do. Okay. Well, I'm gonna close that. This should be false. Same thing on uncrouch. This needs to be false. Okay. Let's go back to Maya. And I will grab where am I going? You go to a new file, and I will import the FBX file. Since I have to do it manually, go to exported. I need crouch. Interesting. It's coming in with this hierarchy. That should not be a thing. But that would explain the random skeletons that are attached. Let me open up any of the other. Let's just grab idle. Idle comes in pretty clean. There's no garbage attached to it. No, there is this guy attached. About right. Oops. We'll import right. That comes in, but it does come in with these two. I'm surprised it hasn't caused an error. Huh. Or are they all like that? Let's go to stop left. Yeah. And left is going opposed to the correct direction. Yeah, so that's fine. So why is this coming in incorrect? Now let's do a bake. So I'm going to go ahead and just bake this. Get the bake skeleton. Animation key. Let's do bake every frame. Export, crouch left, yes, and then we'll do this one, export, uncrouch. Let's go to new. Import crouch. That came out correct. Good. And then are you baked in the correct direction? Yes. And then same thing for uncrouch. Yeah, so that came out fine. That was weird. Oh well. I'm going to go ahead and boot this back up again, but it might take a few minutes. Let's see what spikes. So my memory is currently sitting at 44 gigs currently in use. Probably hogged by Visual Studio. Let's see. OBS. not that bad. Visual Studio looks like it's the most. Maya a little bit. Internet a little bit. Weird. But whatever's hogging my memory here, because there's not enough memory here, it's trying to page it onto the disk. Welcome to the stream. Ten minutes remaining on Battlefield 5. Maybe I shouldn't greet people when they come in, because they seem to terrify them. They run away. What I need to do is order my 128 dual channel. I do have 128 installed, but I'm only seeing 64 of it because it's dual channel. Kind of an annoying thing. It doesn't stack. It has to be. It either has to be 4 sticks that are configured, or it has to be the 2 sticks that are configured. Okay. Oh, I need to re-import the animations. Re-import. And is this the uncrouch? Yeah, re-import. Okay. And if I go ahead and turn, so yeah, there's crouch and uncrouch. I don't have crouch walking enabled, I don't think. So what I would normally do is on the on the state, I would check what inputs are allowed. But everything's so separated the way that this thing is set up, so I'm gonna have to do it a different way. But while I'm here, let's hop off. I am going to have to create a crouch walk at some point, I think. It is a decent height change, right? Yeah. You see, as I'm walking, if I change the button press to down, I stay in walking. It doesn't pull me out of that. So I need to set it up so that if I'm walking and I make that transition to down, that down checks what I'm doing and immediately goes into whatever else. But that works pretty well. Of course, I can jump while crouched. That should send me directly into for jumping. So what you would do for, if I go to the animation blueprint, where are you hidden? You're under here. Where did I put that thing? I might have it under animations, blueprints, animation blueprints. So in an animation blueprint, if you're using this thing, where's my state machine? In these transition rules, what you would do is say, hey, so I can go from idle to walk, and then I can go from, or start walking and start walking to walk, and then to there, right? But you can't go directly from idle to like walk. I have to go here first and then there. So you have to have these transitions. And then if you want multiple things to transition to other things, you would just drag extra branches. So I'd say, hey, I want this to also be able to go here. And then you would set a rule in those conditions. But since I'm not using this, I'm doing it programmatically. I have to come up with another way of allowing transitions. So that's just in my brain box. But this part is working, so I can save that, hop off of here, come back into this. I'm going to let that cool off. I'm going to get this, and what I will be doing is I'll get my crouch left, open that. Let's save this out as crouch right, and then I'll flip everything. And then the only thing that's going to be different here is this is flipped that way. Of course, that has to be on frame 1. Let's remove that. So that's flipped on both of those. And then I have to change the angle that he's facing. Not too bad. Let's get all of the FK members. And let's see if I can get my mirror flip. That was a lot. Everything else is saved. Yes. So 1, 2, weird. It's weird. It's like it keeps the flip. This part flipped correctly, but this one had to be flipped back and forth. That's so bizarre. Alright, well, what I'll do is this. Let me get rid of the middle frames here. No, I won't do that. That being flipped looks like it's correct. And this looks like it should be correct. Let's go here. This one is not correct. And that one is not correct. But logically speaking, none of these should be correct. That is bizarre. You know why? I know why. Because the arms are the only ones that are keyed every frame there, I think. Let me grab the torso. Yeah, so the torso from here to here, and here, this is what's keyed, but the arms are keyed like every frame for some of these. Yeah, this arm is keyed every frame. I'm going to open this and do it again, because I wasn't paying attention. Alright, so before I go and do that, let me get my FK skeleton. I'll go back to frame 1. Okay. I've got everything selected. Make sure I get these hands first and last. Yes. Make sure there's no changes. Alright, get all that selected. We'll go here. I'll hit S and then hit S. I'm just hitting S on every frame here. So that should key everything on those frames. Yes. Alright. theoretically. So those should be all flipped. I'm going to do a smooth butter curve, I think, for those. Animation editor, graph editor, just in case. Sometimes when you do a mirror flip, it gets weird, so I'm going to grab these. How do I want to do this? I could do curves, and then what do we got over here? Channels. How about keys? Oh, that broke it. Let's do tangents. What's gonna be a good? I don't want to do. Let's just do an auto. Make sure nothing's getting jittery. And a little bit in thigh there, but not too bad. I think we're okay. What other options do I have? I could make it linear. It would be very jagged. Clamp this, I guess, spline. You don't need to do an ease in, ease out. That's not necessary. What auto? Same thing. Legacy. I was gonna do the butter curves, but that just made it weird. I can run the oiler filter and see if it does anything for that. There is a bit of a feet going through the floor kind of situation going on. Alright, without tangent auto, and then with tangent auto. Undo current time. Redo current time. Okay. But I think that came out okay. Overall. I'm going to go take a look at the other one, facing left, and see if the feet are doing that. No. His feet are planted pretty good. There's a little bit of a jitter on the feet, like here, but mostly planted. You can't really even tell. Unless you're paying really close attention, you can't really tell. Let's get all of these. Where is my animation editor? This is what I should see on the graph. Okay, that looks fine. If I go back to the right, they're getting weird around here. He's like sliding off axis. I'm not sure why. I guess we'll get all. I guess I could do 2 Mayas and then see what's going on one versus the other. See if I can fire up another Maya. And look at it side by side. I'll have to close down the channel box to get more room. And then I guess it's not ready yet. I guess my second instance of Maya did not open. Alright. Go back to the left. Alright, so if I get this, get all these, and this. Yeah, that's the same. Same curve. That looks right. No issues going off axis. Smooth up, smooth down. Let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and overwrite the other one. Oh yeah. Well, that's happening because the if you take a look at the belt, the back side of the belt is passing through the front side of the belt. They're messed up, but because you only get to see one side of the faces in Unreal, you won't ever notice. So I just ignored it. Alright. So back to our drawing board here. Back to that. Yeah. Alright, so what I'm going to do is get all the things, and we'll just key these. We will switch to IK. Get all of the IK controls. Same deal. I'll just go through and key each one. Alright. Just in case. So I actually don't have a IK flipper. I didn't build one because I can IK FK match, so I'm going to go and flip this back to FK. Get all of the things here. I'll go ahead and just flip frame 1. Frame 2. But I'm getting a weird slide off axis for that. Let's see what we have on our curves options here. Let's do a smooth filter Gaussian. Nope, that's still off. It's still being weird. Alright. Tangents, we'll do a auto, I guess. We don't need linear. No, just auto. Still sliding off axis. Well, I would hate to have to do the arm manually. Wonder why that flip got that result. Undo graph, buffer curve. Keys, what options do I have? We have convert key, remove key, basically curve, big curve, mute curve, unmute curve. Could do a reorder rotation. No, he's still sliding off the channel. Off the center line. Alright. We'll try splining it. No, that didn't help. Let's do an auto for both in and out then. No good there. I'll do it manually on both sides and see. No. Yeah, I'm not sure what other filter options I can use to try to clean that out. May just have to do it by hand. Let's go back. Well, I know that's not correct, because he wasn't doing that prior. So we'll open up left again. There's always like little quirks. Save left over as right. Okay. Why are you broken? So there's only a small amount of jitter here. Alright. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to FK. Right now, the only thing that really is sort of pinned would be that shoulder. So this one I think is fine here, but then we have this for that. I'm not too worried about that. This is just to keep it out of the leg, which is something that I can do manually. I'm just hoping to not have to do it, but it's fine. And the same thing on this arm. There's some manual adjustments there for those. So, gonna go into here. Pretty much all the frames, except for what, frame 1 and 6. So frame 1, frame 6, frame 12. Okay, so that's probably fine there. So what I'm going to do is flip the frame 1, 6, and 12, and then I'll let the interpolation run it. So I'll get this guy. Okay. So I'm going to flip this one, flip that one, flip that one. There's some weird interpolation, like sliding off here for some reason. But I'm going to go and grab the IK. Actually, I'm going to switch it first. I'm not sure why that's even keyable. This should not be keyable. But, okay. But anyway, so IK, let's get all of the IK elements, and I'm going to match IK to FK, and then I'll do the same thing here. So yeah, that's just really weird that it slides off the axis. It shouldn't. I'm getting that even on the IK side of things. Let's see. Those values are flipped left and right. That's probably fine. This is so weird that that keyed. Oh, that is weird. I haven't noticed it with the other animations, but like small anomalies here and there. Weird jitter, but I can usually smooth it out using a filter. But this is a complete shift over. I'm not sure why. Tell you though, nothing is ever simple. There's always something that breaks. The whole point of setting this up so that I could mirror it is so that I wouldn't have to do it by hand.
Well, what other options do I have? I can't do it that way. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm just trying to figure out why I'm getting this anomaly whenever I mirror. Yeah, I just don't know why. These are all... I haven't changed these yet, so... But this slide... Let me do this. I'm going to mirror just off of here and see what changes. So I'm here. Ugh. Flip. I mean, it looks right. I'm going to do it several times and just see if the character walks off the axis eventually. It doesn't seem to be shifting off the axis here. This toe's aligned to here, that's to the back. Line. This toe to about there, and that one's against the line. That looks consistent each time. No problems here. Now that's a big shift there. From frame 6, where the foot is here, to there. That's a huge shift over. So let's see what got shifted. So pelvis. Let's go back to before I mirror. These are the values before. Yeah, the only thing that's shifting is the axis for that one. All of their values should be the same. Relative angles and all that stuff should be about the same. And yet the axis is slipped off a bit.
Why?
What if I flip it back? It's about where it was, right? Why would that shift so much off the axis? So this position and that position are mirror identicals, right? Or mirror equivalents. Looks to be that way. All other angles being equal. But this one puts me off axis over here. Why? What happens if I go to 0? It could be the my translation position. Is that world X? Object X. If I set this to 0, that could be. Yeah.
So in most cases, when I do a mirror flip, I mirror rotations only. But the pelvis joint, I need to have translations. So let me update this. So on the pelvis, I get pelvis rotation, and that gets flipped. For pelvis translation, I need that as well. So pelvis trans is going to be get attribute. That is the pelvis control dot translate. We want to get the whole array, and then we will do this. That'll be pelvis trans. Okay. So in this case, I need to flip the x-axis value, and we're going to keep the y-axis and the z-axis as they are. And that should solve that, I think. Because on here, the x translation is 0. But on here, the x translation is this. So what I want to do now is run it. And now I have the same. Okay. So let's try this again. I'm going to go and open this one. We won't save. I'm going to go back to here. I don't think I've changed anything yet. Right, still doing this. All those are as they are. And I will just go through and just S these. Alright, and we will do a flip. And then flip. And that should be pretty on point. There still is a little bit of extra raising and lowering here. See that? I don't have a good explanation for that. You shouldn't be floating off of those. So what I will do is this. Since this one, and I'm sure this one, and that one are about where they need to be,
I can do is go into the IK. Why these are keyed. So let's go to IK. And on frame 1, I'm going to match the IK. And then match IK. Weird. On this one, I don't have a mirror IK setup, so I need to go through and create one. And these are all world coordinates, so really it would just be swapping relative world coordinates, I think. But this foot needs to be like this foot. So this one's what is your toe angle? 21 and change to here. This should be 0. Can I match that again? Here we go. Cool. Movie is over? Question mark. Did he leave? Question mark. Alright. That match actually matched pretty well. Normally when I match the spine on the IK, it gets a bit weird because I really don't like spine IKs. But the way this matches is a bit different than the way the spine normally would match. But okay, that one looks like it went. Alright. So this, make sure that that one's good and matched. That, and that. So that'll pin the feet from here to there. And then I can go back over here on the FK side. Now one thing that I set up for the IK to FK matching is I removed the spine matches, with the exception of the pelvis, because the those two things don't always communicate. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this one, and then 6, hit that one, and then this one, and then that one. Okay. So that should be where that needs to be. That looks good. And I can save that one. Alright. So now that's saved, let's get this baked. So we'll get all of the bones. Get the baked skeleton. We will get the animation key. We'll simulate that. And then I will pop that out into the world. So this will be idle crouch right. Oh crap, I gotta make sure I have the correct length. There we go. And then this one to there. And this will be the uncrouch. Okay. I'll come back into here. I can remove the return from this one. And I can remove the return from this one. Launch that. Alright, I'll start it in just a minute. And then just in case, I'm going to exit this so that I don't save it as it is. Because I don't want to save the baked action, so I can go back and make changes to it later. But that should free up some memory. And actually, I can close Steam. Let me turn Steam off. That'll save some memory. Yeah, it's taken a sweet minute to load that. I think I'll just bite the bullet and get the higher memory. I'm getting bottlenecked here. Keep staring at it like I can do something about it. Can't do anything about it now. This hasn't really moved much, though. Alright, so we're in. Let me get these animations loaded. Get the right animations. So I need the crouch right and the uncrouch right. Pop those in. Import all. Save all. Alright, now we should be able to test it. So those are baked the wrong way. I didn't flip the skeleton. So let me go back into here. So this let me 180 flip it. There is a faster way to do that, I just did it the slow way. Alright, then I'm going to bake it again. Get the bake skeleton. Where are you at? Oh, I'm in modeling. Rebake. Re-export. I didn't close Maya, right? I must have. Crouch 1 to 6. Alright, so crouch, yes. And then standing. Alright, so I should be able to reload these. Crouch, re-import, and uncrouch, re-import. Unlike Unity, Unreal's re-import feature actually works. Alright. Yes. And yes. There's a slight shift in the arms for this one, but there's like no shift in the arms for this one. It doesn't really matter, it's just one of those subtle things. But yeah, that'll do it. We've got this part, and I had to fix up a couple bugs, but yeah, par for the course. Alright, I'm going to hop off, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.